Hello. My voice is cracking. And I need a haircut. But I don't feel like paying the money. I'd rather spend it on something else. So I think this might be short. I've said that before though. And it ends up being longer. So this is the last part of the relationships in bipolar disorder, and that is if you are already in a relationship and you are diagnosed, which is what happened to me. And so the first thing I'm going to say is first thing is that both you and your significant other have to understand that this is a chronic disability. It's a chronic disorder. It's lifelong, always there, needing to be taken care of situation. You aren't going to get a prescription and pop some pills and it's all going to be fixed. You'll probably do a lot better once you get situated on the right meds, but that can be a very bumpy ride. And that's about when some people realize they cannot do this. They want to, but they can't. If the person you are with, your significant other, finds that they are unable to be in a relationship with someone with these problems, and maybe they might be saying, it's not what I signed up for. Whatever they're thinking or saying, whatever it is, they want to leave. As painful as it is, as hurtful as it is, as hard as it is, you need to let them go, because you are on two different trajectories, and being together, well, obviously it's just not going to happen because the other person's leaving, and you need to let them go with as much grace as you can muster. Okay. You might cry, you might beg, you might threaten, you might be a horror to live with and be desperate and despondent, but the best thing is to just let them go, to live their life, and you go to live what will be your life. And it will be hard, and it will take a long time, but over time, for me, over time it got easier. I started to live my life for me and started to focus more on me and my life. I started to build a relationship with myself, exploring myself outside of a relationship, which I think is very important, and I am going to do a video on that. To me, right now, it's just a vague concept. I mean, it's a very real thing to me, but I'm not entirely sure how I would describe it to another person. So once that happens, I can make the video. Anyway, you were a person before them, you'll be a person after them. And respect that they are a living being that has wants and desires and fantasies of the future. And you need to let them go to do that. I don't think it does any good to hate them for it. You can hate how you're feeling about it. But when you think about it, if someone is not up for being there for you, it's better to not have them there at all. Now, if you have kids, you'll have to work that out, and I'll maybe get to that further in a different section. Yeah, so it's not fair to them to try to keep them with you, even though you know they don't want to be, because it's easy to use tactics to try to keep someone with you. Threats and, of things you might do, or guilt. I know I did say, because we were engaged, that I guess the part about through, what is it, sickness and in health, you didn't think about that at the time, huh? Well, maybe they weren't thinking mental health, sickness and good mental health. If they add psychiatric disorder in that, when you're getting married, and they need to, through sickness, psychiatric disorders, and health. And it wouldn't be good for you. It wouldn't be healthy for you to have someone around who's only there because they are being held hostage or blackmailed or some other reason than wanting to be with you. And if you do use tactics to keep someone with you, you'll only suffer for it. I do think talking and being honest is appropriate, but in the end of just complete split. So that's that, my opinion on that. The adult thing to do is, see, my situation was so long ago, and I never really hated him because so many things happened in my life that I feel like if I had stayed with him, I wouldn't have followed the path I did. And the path I like a lot of the things that I did with my life, particularly that nice time that I had working and volunteering at the animal shelter, if I had stayed with him, I never would have um, helped those animals and those people. So, um, we, and he really wanted children, and I'm just throwing this out there. And I found out later, like way later, that I had stage 4 endometriosis, and so I probably couldn't have had children anyway. So, um, I am a believer in things happen for a reason, even bad things. You can make life, there's, you're not completely, bad things can happen and you can make good things out of them. Or, that open a door, close a door and a window opens, or something like that. And no, I've had some really bad times, but I've always resurfaced and had something new and exciting around the corner. So, you can't tell the future. You don't know that without this person. You're not gonna go around the bend, have control of your bipolar disorder, and land in a situation that you're very happy with. If you decide to keep hold of the pain that you feel when the split occurs, you're probably going to feel that for the rest of your life. And I do believe that's a decision. You can, yes, you're going to go through some pain and maybe even torture. I felt tortured. I went through mourning. I mourned my future. And so, but there was something around the corner. Let's see. So, you're in a relationship, depending on how long you've been in this relationship, but let's just say it's been a year or more or so, or, it's a steady relationship. You're either married or in a stable, constant, this is your one person kind of relationship. In the beginning, I would talk about how much you want that person, or they want to be involved. And obviously there are important things that must be shared, such as important symptoms, signs and symptoms that need to be brought up if they are noticed. For example, I live with my mom. I'm not in a relationship, but she knows that if I get a bunch of packages in a short period of time, that I am probably experiencing some hypomania, possibly, and she knows that's something to speak up about, to make sure, or to apply it and look at my body language and stuff to make sure I'm not, off my rocker. Isolating risky behavior, like going to the casino. But, like, the smaller things, like, yeah, I have a doctor's appointment. Yeah, they changed my meds. Do they want to know what medications you're on and how they make you feel? And when you have appointments and what happens in the appointments, and or is it just information you want to share? Not that the other person would be distant or avoidant, but sometimes some people are just not very comfortable and open about mental health issues, which psychiatric issues. So, if I'm going to have a medication change, I tell my mom so that if something goes wrong, she can tell the paramedic or doctor or whatever that there was a change. But I mean, like, how deep into the symptoms do they want to know? How involved do they want you to talk about it, what it feels like, or just have it off there somewhere in the, I mean, how much you're going to expect them to, like, here's one thing is, are they just gonna skim a little thing they see on the internet, or do they want to read the books? You know, you can't blame someone for being one type of person and not another. I would think that they would want to know a certain amount of information, your doctor's name and number, and what medication you're on, and what to do in an emergency. But some people, they may feel like they're being intrusive, or the other person who has the disorder might not want to feel comfortable sharing or letting the person in too much. And both are right. Neither is wrong. It's just the kind of person you are. You know, some people are more private. And I'm this person is, I don't like it to be a big deal. I don't like it to be a focus. I don't like it to be, I just want to mention it and deal with most of it between me, my doctor, therapist, and my journal, and you guys. So I'm more private about the nitty-gritty with the people. It's the closer the person, the less I want them to know. I don't know. That's not really true when I think about it. But, like, you guys probably know a lot more about my symptoms and things I experience and emotions than anybody else. Family, friends, you know, because if you're listening to this, you either, most of you have a mood disorder or anxiety disorder, or you're someone looking for information. It would be silly of me to make a video and not put it all out there. But I'm not like that, like, to family and friends, and I'm very private about it. Um, I want, I'm okay with people knowing I have it, and that vaguely I have highs and lows and certain symptoms, but I'm not going to talk about some symptoms. Those are private, except for on here. And so, like I said, how much is that person comfortable um, with knowing? Um, some people don't want anyone to know. Some people don't even let their significant others know. They do. They go to their doctor and they get their meds in secret. Um, and I'm not going to say any way's the right way. Some people, there are social situations that I will say I have bipolar disorder. I don't mind saying I have bipolar disorder. It's just when it gets to the nitty gritty, then that's none of their business. So, is your significant other more comfortable or knowing less than more? Are you more comfortable with them knowing less than more? And hopefully you match up, because if they're more comfortable knowing less and you're telling them all this stuff that you're going through, they're gonna be like all tense and I don't want to hear it. And then if they're wanting to know more but you're wanting to keep things to yourself and more private, you're gonna feel intruded upon. So if you find that you're in those two situations, it's time to have a talk. And I would say that whoever is the one wanting to be more private, like the know less, tell less, should be respected. And if you feel the need that you need to tell more, find another outlet or find someone else, like a forum, or do they even have forums anymore? I miss message boards and forums so much. My brain's so geared towards them. I'm so old school. I am not Instagram. Twitter's okay, but I can follow Twitter, but Instagram, Snapchat, and now Facebook has this story thing. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh, it only lasts for 24 hours. Well, what's the point? I only go to the site once a day at most, so anyway, let's see. If you are, let's see. If you are diagnosed and you don't take it seriously, meaning you don't find out what it is you need to do and not do, and you don't take it seriously, and the repercussions are your moods being all over the place, causing chaos for everyone, your significant other, that is not fair to your significant other. It's not fair to anybody. If you are going to choose to purposefully not take it seriously and work on what you're supposed to do to make life go as smooth as possible, then you need to stay away from people. It's not fair to other people for you not to take care of your business. Now, everybody's at a different place, experiencing a different disorder. The categories are just for insurance companies. And so I say, as much as you can, as much as possible, the best to your abilities. So if you don't take it as seriously as you can and do your best, to do the things you're supposed to do. It is not fair to your significant other, especially if they are willing to change their lifestyle for you, but you don't take care of yourself. Now, if you both decide you want to go off and not take care of things and wreak havoc together, that's not fair to the world at large, but you're gonna hurt people. So so you don't have a lot of room to talk if you aren't doing everything that you can, that is possible for you to do. Like alcohol affects the effectiveness of some medications. If you drink alcohol, I think lithium, you can, it's like you didn't take your lithium. So if you choose to go out and drink with your friends on a regular basis and then get upset at your significant other for not taking your disorder seriously, you're on the wrong rung of the ladder. Because if you're not doing your part and they are doing their part, it's uneven. If you are in a relationship with someone who decides they want to stay with you, but they don't want to live the lifestyle of someone that has a mood disorder and needs that someone that would like to stay healthy, stay out of jail, and your significant other would rather have a lifestyle of partying or just behaviors and activities, you have to really think about now if there's something you should be doing. And this person starts trying to tempt you, knowing full well that you're not supposed to be doing this or that. Like if gambling's a problem, when you're manic and they're trying to lure you to Vegas, I don't know, to the boat for gambling, or alcohol, drugs. This even applies to friends. Luring you to the clubs, to the, making, and it's just not in line with what you need to be doing to take care of yourself. They want you, but they don't want the disorder. And so, don't worry about that. You don't need to take those stupid medications. You're not any fun on them anyway. Come with knowing you're not supposed to drink alcohol, but talking you into, badgering you into going to parties or using drugs. Then I would say that if you have talked to this person more than once, or need to talk to this person more than once about what's okay for you to do and not do, and alternatives, different things you could do together, then I would say it's time to go. If you really want to take care of yourself, and someone's keeping you from doing that, uh, I would say that they're probably robbing you of a chance at a fulfilling life that isn't chaotic and over the top, and is manageable. There, what I think of, and lifestyle changes are going to happen if you want to get better and be the best that you can. It makes me think a lot about alcoholism and drug use, and when someone is getting clean, they often they either sever ties with the previous significant other that they used with, or they can't stay clean because they keep going back to that person and there. And the after one of a pair gets help and gets clean, the incidence of divorce is really, really high, because now they have nothing in common. They don't have anything to talk about. They don't have anything to do together. They don't even know each other. And they can't even spend time together. So, and I have seen that with my own eyes, with my parents. So, that is very similar to if you had a certain lifestyle that involved drugs or alcohol, just any type of risky behavior, and you get diagnosed with bipolar disorder and you want to get healthy, and you are paired with someone who is not healthy, it's either going to happen because you realize a relationship with them is not going to work because they're still doing those behaviors, or they're going to go off and find someone to have fun with. Either way, you need someone who's going to be supportive. However much they want to be involved, that's between you two. But supportive all the way. And remember, because sometimes we forget this, you don't have to be in a relationship. You don't, it's not necessary to life. It's okay to be alone. Lonely is different, but we are judged by there is something we are judged that people don't talk about a lot, and that is whether you are married or not, or in a relationship or not. There must be something wrong with you. And trust me, we have problems, but so does everybody else. And even just because they may have a partner doesn't mean you're unlovable. or that your disorder keeps people from you. It just means that you haven't met someone for you. You may not. So, like I said, you need to develop a relationship with yourself. Um, so, but I mean, it's not, if someone is not going to be a betterment for you, if they're in your life, then tuck them to the side and be alone, because you'll be better off. Um, you don't just like be with someone who's going to be rotten for you just because everybody you know is in a relationship. I mean, it might feel awkward and it might feel bad and it might feel like there's something like you should have that, but you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who are alone, not lonely, but alone, walking around living their life. Living their life. I'm not lonely. I sometimes feel alone in my disorder because I do live in a more rural area and people are very hush hush about psychiatric disorders, very judgmental. If I lived in a more metropolitan area, I probably would feel less alone in that regard, but I don't feel the need, like my other half, my, that destiny thing. You can be fulfilled. You can give to the universe and receive without a partner. It's easy, and sometimes it's more, and a lot of times it's more healthy to be alone. If you can't find someone that's going to be able to fall in line with what you need, then you're better off alone. Sometimes I'm kind of jealous, but not in a way that makes me feel less about myself. I'm just jealous that I live where I live, maybe. But, I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with personality or not. I don't know if anything I'm saying is helpful. I am naturally more of an introvert anyway, and I don't know if that makes a difference if you're an extrovert or introvert, but regardless of what you are, the fact that you don't need another person to complete you. You can have another person that might complement you, but not complete you. You really aren't any good to anybody unless you are a complete person already. Just out there exploring the universe and learning new things, no matter how old you are. So that's about all I have to say about relationships and bipolar disorder. Getting into them and then somebody experiencing your mood, especially if you have mixed episodes, I would say you're almost better off towards mankind to stay out of a relationship if you have mixed episodes with the irritability, because I throw things and I call people names. I'm just like it's a horrible thing that it's like unrecognizable person. I would never want to put someone through that. Because even though I can say I'm sorry and that I can't help it after it's happened, the words are already said, the hurt's already happened. Um, but I do worry about my future when I'm an old person and can't do for myself. I worry about that, but not much. I'm more in the moment. What am I gonna do this moment? Um, I mean, I have a schedule. Sometimes it's more strict than other times, depending on how much structure I need. But I'm pretty immersed in whatever I'm doing at that time. I'm not worrying. I used to worry a lot about the future and the past, and I'm more in the moment. So, so that's my take, my advice on what to do if you're in a relationship and you are diagnosed with bipolar disorder.